Okay, so I think I've got a very important topic to talk about in this video, whatever you want to call it. With the recent stuff on Hytale's melee combat, which looks absolutely amazing, and if the melee combat's that good, what is happening with the ranged combat, and what's happening with the magic combat especially? I was just like wondering if they'd overhaul the mage combat like they had with the melee, and if so, how did they do that? In terms of magic combat, I think the thing they should do is they should definitely work on their special effects for that. Because right now it is, you just throw stuff at people, you throw magic spells at people, or like you wave your staff around and something happens. And I don't think that's very interesting compared to something like the melee combat where you've got all those like dashes and movement stuff and all these unique attacks and parrying and everything. I think they definitely need melee to become a lot more impressive than it is right now, and for all I know they could have already done that, but yeah, I'm hoping they've done that. Basically, my idea for this is you have a bunch of different spells that you can use, which also have different purposes, such as maybe a spell that casts a shield in front of you that lets you block an attack, or a spell that causes you to do a dash and you can dodge stuff, or a spell that launches a projectile that's just a basic one, or maybe one that uses more mana that is really powerful. Like, it's good for dealing a large amount of damage, but you can't use it often. Basically, you just have to keep switching through spells to do different things. They could also do something more like the melee, where depending on how you attack, it does something different. I definitely think they should have charged attacks like they do melee, where once you charge up enough hits, you can do like a charged attack. I think that should be the same for ranged weapons, where if you land enough shots, you can do a special supercharged shot. And maybe what you have to do is, as well as gaining up attacks, you also have to have a bunch of mana, because it could use like a gajillion mana. I think that would just work well. I'm assuming they're already doing this, but they should make sure that Magic has some good endgame ones, because mainly saying this because of Terraria, which kind of ruins major endgame. It doesn't really have much power compared to melee. In fact, nothing does. I feel like they just need to not neglect other combat types and give them a nice power level. Like, just make it the same strength approximately. I feel like mage should be strong attacks but weak defense, and you also have to worry about mana. Also, close range and long range magic weapons would be cool. Like, you've got this magic weapon that makes this shockwave in front of you, for example, but it doesn't reach very far, and then you've got this one which launches homing magic bolts, but they have really good range, but they just don't do much damage. Although, that being said, swapping can get a bit annoying with inventory management, because think about it, how annoying would it be if your entire hotbar is just filled with weapons? So that being said, it could be nice not to do the weapon swapping, and just, I think they should just work on their magic systems a lot. Someone who's better at game design than me could probably figure this stuff out. I think they should also give magic, maybe, I don't know if this would work, but melee, they gave it like a yellow or blue color aesthetic a lot. So I feel like maybe if they gave mage like green and purple or something, that could look cool. So all the attacks are green and purple. It would be a nice touch, but then again, there's just weapons like the ice staff, which wouldn't really work that well with it. It'd just look kind of weird having green and purple while shooting blue. And it'd probably just work better if it was just blue. But all those like swirly effects would look really nice on an ice staff. You fire an ice staff and it has like blue swirly effects. And then once you charge up enough ice shots, you can do like a super one, which launches like this blue shockwave around the ice. Also, I hope with mage weapons, they make them more unique, because I don't want them all to just be firing a projectile, which I think 2 out of 3 of the ones I've seen are just a projectile weapon. Actually, we've probably seen more than 3, but 2 out of the 3 ones I remember off the top of my head just shoot a magic bolt. Book, the one in the skeleton dungeon battle in the graphics blog post, and also the staff, both looks like they were just shooting a basic projectile that would fly in a straight line, maybe give some sort of debuff. For the fire one, might have set stuff on fire, but it's still not that much. Variety doesn't really make the combat unique enough, and I think they should definitely do different stuff like homing attacks and the ice staff. The ice staff is cool. It does basically this. just shoots a beam of ice, except the Hytale one looks a lot cooler and works slightly differently. But yeah, that's really all. Just to summarize, do something cool with magic, add more special effects, and make it better than melee because I prefer magic. No bias, as you can tell.